Last year, I used this method to help me pick most of my reads. I got the inspiration to use bingo as a way to choose my TBR from Maddie at Book Browsing Blog. And I know Jesse from Jesse the Reader is doing a bookish predictions for the year. But people use bingo for a lot of different bookish things. Something else from Maddie I'm going to be borrowing this year, however, is to make it a book buying ban bingo instead of just a TBR bingo, because I only have so much room. I currently store all my books on one bookcase. The plan currently is to do a check-in every 3 months. I have 24 spaces for prompts, with the free middle space being used as a mood read space. I figured I'm gonna end up reading at least one book that doesn't fit any of the prompts. I'm gonna pick the prompts out of my Sock Monkey cup. If anyone watching has any prompt ideas, please put them in a comment. If a book I read fits a prompt, I'll cross it out and hopefully get some bingos at the end of the 3 months. When I get a bingo, I get a token, which means I can buy a book. And when I get the Four Corners bingo, I get half a token. I can also get bingos for every 10 books I read, and every 12 bingos I get. Another way I can get tokens is completing readathons or challenges. Half a token for a week long, one for a month long, and half a token for every 3 months for a year-long readathon. I currently only have one exception to using tokens. I won't be using tokens on books bought from other people or from gift cards given to me for occasions like Christmas or birthdays. Each book can fit only one prompt, with the exception of one or two, like read every day for a week. After the 3 months are up, I replace every crossed out prompt and leave the ones I didn't end up completing. Hopefully that all makes sense. If not, ask questions in the comments. Let's go through how it went the last 3 months. Okay, let's start with some stats. I read 21 books in total, 7 in January, 12 in February, and only 2 in March. In terms of the amount of pages, I read 3,553, 1138 in January, 2145 in February, and 210 in March, which is an average of 39 pages per day and 169 pages per book. My average rating was a 2.5. I had 4 1 stars, 3 2 stars, 7 3 stars, 7 4 stars, and no 5 stars. In terms of format, I read 1 physical book and 20 ebooks. I couldn't find anything I physically wanted to read, so everything's either from Kindle or the library/Libby app. In terms of genres, I read 15 romeos, 2 dystopian, 3 fantasy, and 1 horror/thriller. I read 3 young adult and 18 adult books. I read 2 standalones, although one technically has a companion that I'm never gonna get around to. 6 first in a series. Again, 1 series I'm never gonna finish, and 2 series I started last year. And finally, in terms of authors, I technically read from 9 authors, though 2 are pen names from the same author, so I'm gonna go with a total of 8. 4 I read from before, and 4 were new to me. When I talk about these books, I'm gonna put full series together, so this isn't in reading order. Though I have done monthly wrap-ups in short form for all 3 months, linked below and in the cards. First up, Victories Greater Than Death by Charlie Jane Anders. I gave this a 3-star. This was fine. I enjoyed it. I had an okay time. It did take me the whole month to finish it, but I am gonna continue the series. I just didn't connect with the characters emotionally, even though I did think a few were definitely well written. It was fun, but rambled and kind of ran off the rails in some places. But at the same time, not enough descriptions of the planets they went to. I'm going to use this for my young adult prompt. I also used this book for January's buzzword in Kayla from Books and Lala's Buzzword Reading Challenge. Next is the Mind F series by S.T. Abbey, which I gave the first 2, both 4s, and the last 3 stars. I read the whole series in one fell swoop. This is a solid series, but it does have some flaws. The books were entertaining for sure. The first 2 were gripping, but after that, it became incredibly repetitive. I can't tell if I believe the ending or not. I used The Risk for 2019 and before releases, Sidetracked for spicy, Scarlet Angel for a book read in a day, All the Lies for adult, and Paint It All Red for finished or caught up in a series. On to one of my favorite series this year so far, and I immediately wanted to reread it, The Wild Ones by C.M. Owens. All 3 books got a 4-star. They were fun, fast-paced, and a little bit crazy, yes, for sure. But the characters all had great chemistry. I love books that take place in a small town where everyone's in everybody's business. And this town was so insane with crazy challenges, traditions, and pranks. Now I found this series by accident, and have never seen it before. So I'm using the first one, Becoming a Vincent, for that. The second one, Going Wild, I used for contemporary. And because I just wanted to finish the series, I used Wilder for my center mode read. From high to low. I don't even know what to say about this next one. Fortune's Eve by Emma Jane Holloway, which I only gave 1 star. It was less than 100 pages and I have no idea what was happening. I won't be continuing with this. The only reason I picked it up was because I've read from this author before, and it fit into the half-length of the last read prompt. Up next is the first 2 in the Edge of Collapse series by Kayla Stone. For both being over 300 pages, these were quick reads that I couldn't put down, and I'm looking forward to continuing. They held my attention from page 1 and gripped me the whole way through. Definitely hard to put down. I liked most of the characters. Edge of Collapse with a 4-star I'm using for the over 300 pages prompt. And Edge of Madness with a 3-star was a random book chosen out of 10 others. If you want, you can read the prequel novella, Chaos Rising, on our website, which is where I found it in December. I also used Edge of Madness for February's buzzword. Most disappointed is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I so badly wanted to love this. It wasn't bad, it wasn't spectacular, it was just fine. I loved the concept of the book, a fun gimmick that made this story so much charming in its cheekiness. There's no denying that this is a weird one. There were moments that made me chuckle. I didn't like the middle section, but I thought it came back together in the end. The characters were interesting, but some felt shallow and lacking, partially due to us mostly experiencing things from one person's perspective. I gave it a 3-star, which fits with the average, and I used it for the prompt 3 stars on Goodreads. Another 3-star was The Queen of Rathia by Effie Calvin. I like this world and the overall plot. However, this 3rd installment has a lot going for is the Nick and Holly series by Dana Isley. They were basic. I knew exactly what I was in for when I picked these up, because each book takes place over less than a week. They seem like they were chapters from the same novel. After reading the first two, I would have stopped, but I already had the last three and really hoped it'd pick up in the end. But I was disappointed. Dipped in Holly and Claimed by Cupid, both 2 stars. Bound in Cabo and Deed by Daddy, both receiving 1 star. The last book in this series, Locked in Love, again a 1 star, I used for the newly published prompt. The beginning of March brought me another C.M. Owens book, Property of Drax Part 1, with a 4 star. Great opener to the series. This really was a fun ride. It was sexy with a great chemistry between the main characters, an extremely quick read, possessive hero, innocent but not virginal heroine, no cheating or ex drama, and ended on a cliffhanger. Loved that at least the girl knew how to handle herself in this situation. I picked it up specifically because it fit double the length of the last read prompt. The last read of the 3 months was Sweetest Secret by Lucy Darling, which I only gave a 2 star. The thing that bugged me was the constant back and forth and miscommunication. Greatly disliked the main characters, both childish and selfish. The only reason I read this was because I needed a quick read with the word secret in the title for the March buzzword, which is the prompt I also ended up using this book for. I also crossed off 2 more prompts. For these 2 prompts, all but 1 book can be used in a second prompt, with Read Every Day for a Week. The main book I'm using is Claimed by Cupid, and I'm using Bound in Cabo for the main book in the Rainbow Book Covers prompt, which is just 6 books that mostly have 1 color from the rainbow on it. And I'm not using indigo for this, so just red, yellow, orange, green, blue, and purple. The only book not being used in any of the prompts is Dipped by Holly. So, with 21 books read, I was able to cross off 19 prompts and get 4 bingos. For the tokens, I was able to grab 2 for every 10 books read, including leftovers from last year, 4 for the bingos, and half a token for the buzzword reading challenge, which gives me 6.5 tokens from the last 3 months. Now, let's remove those crossed off prompts and get some new ones out. Since I used the board for 3 months, I remove all crossed off prompts, instead of just the ones that got me bingo. So I have a clean board and more prompts for the next 3 months, which means I need to replace 18 prompts this time. For the prompts I have taken off, I don't add them back into the cup for the next board, with the exception of a few, just to make sure the board is different. From the last board, the prompts I still have are a reread, a paperback, an impulse buy, a book I bought last, and both a new 5-star and a new 5-star correct prediction. First up, is a 2022 release. Easy enough. Second prompt. Blank color on cover. All that means is I randomly generated color, and the book needs to mostly use that color on the cover. Okay, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, bright red. Okay, wow. Next prompt. A 2021 release. Again, easy. Fourth prompt. Under 300 pages. Our 5th prompt is going to be oldest published. Now this and the other prompts are all according to Goodreads. So of my physical books, that would be A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. Though if I read something not on my bookshelf that's older, I'll end up using that for the prompt. sixth prompt is a standalone. Next. Lowest rated. According to Goodreads, the lowest rated book on my bookshelf is Star Daughter by Shweta Thakkar. Again, if I read something not on my shelf that covers it, I'll choose that. Eighth is TBR Veteran. I have quite a few books. I've had a while and I never got to do so. Ninth prompt is going to be Booktuber favorites last year. I'll find a Booktuber, go to their channel, see if they have a last year's favorite, choose a book from there. Next. Read a book in one sitting. 11th. Ebook. Our 12th prompt is LGBT plus. 13th prompt. Title starts with blank. Alright, let's go generate a letter. 1, 2, 3. That's gonna be a U. Next prompt. Last letter first. Just means if the book I read last ends in a D, the next book has to start with a D. 15th is random number. Grab a stack of books and generate a number to pick from there. Our 16th prompt is going to be from someone else's DVR. 17th prompt is the and of a in. Read a book that has one of those in the title. Okay, last prompt. Hardback. Okay, so that's 3 prompts about date released, 1 about page count, 3 about the ratings, 3 are format based, 1 if it's a standalone or not, 3 about my purchasing of a book, 8 challenge prompts, 1 about the content of the book, and a reread prompt. Along with the bingo prompts, I have the next 3 months of buzzword prompts. April is emotion words, like happy or sad or angry, or words related to emotions, like smile, frown. May is flavors, words involving food or herbs and spices. And June is the word other in the month of April. I'm also going to be participating in Cassie from Covers with Cassidy's Realmathon Readathon, so I expect most of my reading will be done in April. Okay, so those are the prompts and challenges for the next 3 months. I'm excited about what I can read using this board. If you have any questions about anything I've gone over, please put them in a comment. You can also leave any recommendations about what books I can use for these prompts, or any prompts you think I could use in the future. And for fun, also let me know how many prompts and bingos you think I can get for this board. I hope to see you back again soon.